Hello and welcome to another edition of Worlds of Fun Reimagined with Planet Coaster, the game for PCs, theme park game. We're going to have some fun this time. We're going to actually show you how you can put some customized signage on a lot of the buildings and the rides and various attractions in the park. So here we go. What we're going to do today, there is a pretty cool thing in this game where you can actually make custom signs, and you can put them on buildings and rides and what have you, like I mentioned earlier. So here we go. Here, let's do one real quick. Right over here. This is the Americana section of the park, all right? They used to have these buildings. There used to actually be an attraction inside all of these buildings here. It was called when the park opened, it was called 9th Street Incline. It was one of those, you walk in and everything looks like it's, defying physics, balls rolling uphill and all that kind of stuff. You felt like you were going to lose your balance at any moment. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they don't have that in there anymore, but they still have, I think they still have these buildings and just have like shops in them and stuff like that. But anyway, at this one end, and I just look at a lot of photos that I find online to kind of to guide me as far as how I want to make a lot of these buildings look. And on this one in particular, I did notice that this part of this building, they had made it up to look like a saloon. So obviously I put the saloon sign up there. Saloon. You can see that there. But I also noticed they actually, I believe they call it Sadie's, right? I may be wrong. I don't know. I saw something that said Sadie's. Oh, here, I know I saw this. I saw Cyclone Sadie's on something. And so I don't know if it's actually the picture I saw or if I just made an executive decision and said, oh, I'm just going to make this whole thing kind of like, let's say there was a lady named Sadie and she owned the whole thing and maybe she just rented out different parts of it. Let's just call this Sadie's Saloon. So they have these signs. This is a sign right here. They have these signs that you can put on these buildings or rides, and you can customize them. There's a way to do it. I'm not going to get into all that, but there's a way that you can actually go in. I've clicked on the sign there, and now we can just go over here. You can either have an image or a movie playing. I just use them for images. Still image. And I just go in here, and I've already pre-made these signs to save us a little time here. And so I can just go in through here and find the sign that I made for Sadie's Saloon. Believe, is it this one? No, that's not it. That was one that I made that I thought it should be bigger, so I came up with that one. Welcome to Sadie's, where everybody gets a second shot. What the heck? I don't know where I found that. I found that somewhere. Click OK. Bingo. And so now we've got a custom sign right there on Sadie's Saloon. There we go. So there you go. That's how you do that. Or that's not how you do it, but you can do it. If you want to know how to do it, maybe I'll make a video on exactly how you do it, but that's how it turns out. So let's put some more signs on here in some other area. Oh, you know what? While we're up here, this is pretty much the front of the park, and I made a sign. They did not have a sign like this at the actual park, but I just thought, actually, if you look at this is the boat, SS Henrietta, and at the real park when they had this part of the boat here that went, covered the paddle wheel there, it actually said Worlds of Fun across that. I can't do that in this game. The game won't let, there's no way for me to actually put a message on there. So I thought instead of that, since I can't do that, it might be kind of cool to just put a sign here and just kind of make my own welcome sign to the park. And so that's what we did. And now I just have to find it. It's in this list here. Here it is. Welcome to WOF. There we go. Just like that. So I thought, that would be that would be a pretty good sign to have there. Welcome to Worlds of Fun. There you go. With the balloon and everything. So there we go. We got the sign on the boat. Since this was the main entrance back in those days. Not anymore, but so there it is. We got the Welcome to Worlds of Fun sign now on the boat where everybody's coming in. Okay, so there's that one. Let's go over to Europa, the Europa section, which is right this way. Right this way. Okay. I don't think this other place ever existed, but I thought it might be kind of cool next to that to have an ice cream place. And so that's what I built next to that. Hopefully that looks like a building that you might want to go in and get some ice cream. And I just kind of winged it. And here's what we came up for that. Which one? I think it's number 4 right here. Is this the sign that we came up with? Yes, I believe. Or is it this one? Oh, it might be that one. Wait a minute. I made 2 different versions. Which one looks better? We'll just make a decision right now. We got, that's number 3, version 3. Here's version 4. Version 1 and 2 I must not have liked because they're not around anymore. So that's 3. That's 4. 3's kind of flattened. I think I like 4 a little bit better. Here's one that was sideways, I think. Yeah, I didn't like that. All right, we're going with number 4. There we go. Gelateria de Maria. Is that how you say that? Anyway, that's where you can get some ice cream now. In the over in the Europa section. And you can actually go in. This is actually an ice cream shop that I put in there. Right here. They call it gelato. But I mean, this is it. It even tells you all the items you can get. All the different kinds of ice cream. So, yeah, you can go in there and grab some ice cream. And so there's another sign that we placed. Let's do a couple more here. Back to Americana. And I think this is still there today. And I think they still call it Front Street. These were a bunch of shops right on the main entrance, like a little town square there. I think this is still called Front Street Dry Goods, if I'm not mistaken. So we have a sign for this one. There we go. Front Street Dry Goods. Let's go to the Orient section of the park, which is going to be right over here. You remember the octopus being right over there, and then over here we've got, and this one I'm pretty sure they still have a restaurant here, but I think it's like a Panda Express now. They just went corporate. But if you remember back in the old days, it was called Rangoon Refresher. So there we go. We made a sign. We made a sign just for that one. The Tivoli, right back here in Scandinavia. This building might look familiar. So yeah, back when the park first opened and for many, many years. I think it's only recently. I don't think they do shows in this building anymore. I think I saw something, a video or something, where this is like a museum, just a park, a museum of the park now. So, but this used to be they did shows in here and some darn good ones. And so hopefully that building looks pretty good. Like it used to, and still does. The building is still there. But anyway, this used to be called the Tivoli Music Hall. And so we're going to call it that once again. Here it is. There you go. Tivoli Music Hall. So there's the Tivoli. Hopefully you remember that from way back when. We got one more. What's the other sign? Oh, the Smorboard. Yes, the Smorboard Restaurant, which I don't think they call it that anymore. In the 70s and 80s, and maybe even into the 90s, this building right here, you can see it's right next to the Viking Voyager. And actually in the back of it here, in the back of this building, when I worked there, this lower level down here, that was actually where all the employees, that was our employee cafeteria. This is where we would all go on our break for lunch, down here. But on the upper levels was this whole building was like a big buffet, basically, as I recall. And it was called the Smorboard. So we've got the building here. Now inside of this thing, I've actually put a couple of little food shops, just to say I did. Basically, just so there's some actual food that you can get in here. I didn't really worry about too much about making it look like a buffet, but I did make a sign. So here's the sign that I made for it. And where is it? There we go. Smorboard. So there we go. So we got some custom signs around the park. That is going to wrap this one up. I thank you very much for stopping by. We certainly do. You know what? We really, really would appreciate it if you want to go ahead and become a subscriber. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. Of course, everybody says the same thing. Please like the video if you like it. So that goes without saying. Thank you very much for all the likes. And if you do feel like you'd like to become a subscriber, then by all means, we would love to have you. Thank you again for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.